All right, Brendan, let's talk about this M&P Shield. So,
Yes. So
go ahead.
when you buy a Shield in California, you're actually buying the older version of the Shield. So
The ancient version.
Ancient version, actually.
Shield.
I think what they're up to 2.0 now, outside of California.
So we're looking at the first version, which was invented in what, 2000 BC?
Yeah, 2000 BC. Yeah. So the problem with it is that the trigger on this one is extremely gritty. When you hit the wall of the trigger, there's still a bunch of extra play before the gun actually goes off. So the problem with that is, one, it's a heavier trigger pull. One, the brake is not really good. The reset also is extremely far forward of the trigger, and then once it resets,
there's a reset on it?
There's a reset on it.
Amazing.
Once it resets, it still has to go back like a few more notches, and then you're back at the wall. Yeah. So unlike your modern trigger, where once the reset's there, you're also at the wall, the older Shield triggers doesn't have that. So there's a lot of take up, and then it's just doesn't feel good.
Right.
It's no good.
No.
It's actually not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Eventually, if you do the things that we're talking about, it'll be no good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So the issue is the original trigger is no good, as Brendan would say. In fact, in 2013, Smith & Wesson actually had a recall on that trigger. Yeah. Wow. Okay. There were some issues with the trigger that they identified and that they pulled off the shelf and whatever they did. The trigger, as Brendan was saying, is mushy and this and that. So how do we solve for that? Well, Apex makes a really awesome aftermarket trigger for the Shield, and one of the mods that you can do, and it's a really easy mod, is install the Apex trigger on the Shield. So what we have here on this model is that Apex trigger, and what you'll see on this one, simply by doing that trigger mod. Now, it's not just the trigger shoe that gets modified. We're talking about the trigger shoe, along with the sear spring, safety plunger spring. That's all part of the trigger mod, because those things in conjunction will fix quote unquote the issues we're talking about. So on this one, you'll see that there's a clear take up to the wall, and then there's a clear break on that trigger. Okay, and then that reset is essentially right there, as you probably heard. And then there is no take up. You're back at the wall, and then you're braking again. Unlike the stock trigger, where you have the take up, you'll have the brake. Ugh, that was actually a lot different than the Apex, but there is a lot of resistance on that. So you have a heavier trigger press, and then here, and you'll see that the reset is not as clear. I don't know if you heard that, not as clear. And then there's another take up again, and then another whatever pounds of pressure to squeeze that trigger. So a lot different than what you have here on the Apex trigger. So that's one of the gun mods that you can do easily on the Shield. As the trigger, we hear by and large from a lot of people is, the trigger's mushy, the trigger's this, trigger's that. So that's an easy way to fix it. So what we're going to demonstrate here is Brendan's going to demonstrate operating the stock trigger on the M&P Shield, and just want to take a look at how that trigger moves, how that trigger works when he's shooting. So he's going to go ahead and present out. He'll go ahead to the wall, and then from there he's going to go ahead and slowly press the trigger and break a shot and pin to reset. And you'll see here on the reset, there's that click, not necessarily a clearly defined reset, but then he'll go back to the wall and then break another shot and then reset from there. Okay. Now, Brendan, if you can explain for just a moment, what is it that you're feeling when you squeeze the trigger?
There's a lot of play, in all honesty. After the reset, I feel like the trigger is still not at the wall. I have to pull it back a little bit more, and I feel like I'm gonna be able to slap the trigger if I'm, running multiple rounds through the gun. All right, now, once you upgrade the Shield to the Apex trigger, what you're going to notice is you're going to have a flat face trigger as well. So no matter in a pinch, no matter where you grab the trigger, you're still going to be able to get good purchase. So Ernie's going to go present out the firearm, right? He's going to go to touch the trigger and go to the wall. From here, he should have a clear defined wall. So when he breaks the shot right now, there's not going to be any play after the wall. Clear defined wall, clear defined reset. As you can see, I could actually hear the reset from all the way here in comparison to the other trigger. So Ernie's gonna go ahead and break another shot, right? Running the Apex trigger. And at the same time, you know, he's out of ammunition, but even still, when he released that trigger, we're still able to hear the reset extremely clear.
Like this video? Be sure to register and sign up for our next CCW class, and we look forward to training with you.